Hello, I'm Julie Dean. I'm Director of Communications at the Red Cross chapter here in Washtenaw County. And we so appreciate Ann Arbor Community Television letting us get our programs and explain what we do out in the community to you. Many of you viewers out there may know about us already. Our mission is to prevent, to prepare for, and respond to emergencies. And so you may know, maybe you're a blood donor. We have blood donations, donors come to us almost every day to donate blood. And remember, 1 pint can save almost 3 lives. We so thank you for all of your donations and for your support of that. You may also know that we respond to home fires. And every week, between 1 and 2 families are burned out of their homes. And our wonderful volunteers are there to help and respond and help people get back on their feet here in the community. But today we have a fabulous panel, and we're not talking about emergencies. We're talking about preparation and education, outreach into the communities, particularly with our youth. So we're really thrilled to have our guests here today. And many of you may not know that our programs are not paid for by the U.S. government. They aren't paid for by the National Red Cross. It's thanks to you out there for your support and your kind donations that we can do this. So let me introduce my guests today. We have Dr. Khan. She's going to be with us. She is on the PTO of the Michigan Islamic Academy and also a family physician here in town. We also have Mary Kumbir, and she heads up the Swim Across Plus program for us at Red Cross and has some exciting things to say. And finally, we have our Mike Lyons, who does community outreach. He's an AmeriCorps volunteer who's been with us this year. And we're going to start with him. Mike, tell us about your program and what you do for the community in taking Red Cross out there.
Well, my job is to let people know all the great stuff that we do and to educate people about how to stay safe during a disaster and to prepare for disasters when those do strike. My primary focus is working with youth. That primarily involves working with kids under the age of 18. And as you mentioned in your introduction, we do have house fires 1 or 2 times a week in Washtenaw County. And so this fall we started a new program called Great Escapes, which is a fabulous partnership with the Red Cross, local schools, and the fire departments in the area to teach kids about fire safety. Fire safety is one of the most important things kids can learn because in the last 2 years we've had 5 kids under the age of 10 pass away because they haven't known what to do in case of a fire.
That's really heartbreaking. What did you find when you took the program in? Where are kids getting their information?
Well, the kids are getting the information from fire departments, but with budget cuts and with the increase in fires in the area, we've seen that the fire departments have sort of had to cut back. And so this was a fabulous way for us to bridge that gap and to help out. We have so many wonderful volunteers who are able and willing to go into the community and talk and engage kids about fire safety.
So how did you make it fun?
So we go into the classrooms. We have a 30-minute presentation about fire safety. It's an interactive, fun time. We've got the kids on the floor crawling under their desks, getting out, practicing that. And then at the very end of the program, we provide the kids with some fire safety material and an escape plan for them to go home and talk to their families about getting out of the house, finding 2 ways out, and finding a meeting place, identifying a place outside of their house to go when there's a fire.
And did you find out that they actually did that?
Absolutely. And so what we did about 3 or 4 days later, we'd come back, we'd collect the plans, and we would pick a couple of winners. The winners got to either go down to the firehouse and hang out with the firemen for an evening, got to ride the fire trucks and eat dinner with them, and they were fabulous. Other fire departments decided to take a kid home from school on the fire truck. And so it was a great opportunity to partner with our schools and the fire departments in teaching kids fire safety, which again is such an important skill for kids to learn.
Well, listen, if there's some viewers out there who want our program to come to them, how would they you know? Are we doing it next year?
Absolutely, absolutely. Okay. And we're increasing the number of schools. So to call our chapter, 734-971-5300. Ask to speak to me, Mike Lyons, about Great Escapes. We can certainly get your school involved, and we can certainly work with the fire departments to help make that happen.
I know the House Fires Initiative, we really start working on that in September and October because it's usually during the winter where we have a lot of house fires. But we have new programs too in the spring.
Absolutely.
So then this, I want you to
with
take
the kids out, and for the summertime, they're more prone to injuries, falls, scrapes, cuts, burns. And so we're out there teaching them basic first aid skills, and water safety skills, because that's another important skill to learn, and the risk for drownings and injuries goes up as school goes out and kids have more time on their hands. So we have two wonderful programs, one called Basic Aid Training, otherwise known as BAT, that we teach kids basic first aid, how to care for a small wound, how to care for a large wound, burns, choking, those types of things, and we customize that program according to any group's needs.
How young can you be to learn that kind of thing?
You're never too young to learn this, but we, for this basic aid training program, we primarily target grades 3 through 6, 3 through 5.
Mm-hmm.
Our water safety program, we focus on preschool through second graders. So.
Yeah. Well, that brings us to Dr. Khan, because Dr. Khan represents one of our community partners, Michigan Islamic Academy, and she was able to bring us in to the program. Tell us about that, Dr. Khan.
Well, I'm an active member of the PTO at the Michigan Islamic Academy, and I coordinated the Health and Fitness Week from May 9th to May 15th. And so we had several activities focused towards health, and that's when we invited Red Cross over, and Mike Lyons came over to teach our kids all the different first aid training that is very important for the children. So we had CPR training for the middle and high schoolers, we had the basic first aid, we had water safety, choking, and it was a wonderful experience because Mike was outstanding with the way he presented the material to the children. There was a lot of hands-on experience for them, so it was a very, very good and positive learning experience for them.
Is this the first year you've done a health week, or?
Yes, this is the first year we've done the Health and Fitness Week. However, Red Cross has come into our school before. Most of our teachers are CPR certified through the Red Cross. So yes, but hopefully we're hoping next year as well, we're going to continue these programs.
And safety, teaching kids how to be safe, teaching kids how to respond to choking emergencies is such an essential skill for them to learn. And, we try to make it fun for them too. We try to teach them needed skills, but also to make it fun. And so we have the kids up bandaging each other. We have them practicing how to respond to a choking emergency. And the kids do have a lot of fun, and they respond well to that interactive program. So.
And you can, well, back to the question, what kind of activity can a 4-year-old do? Did you have them bandaging up?
Well, we had them doing water safety. So we had buoys and ropes and life preservers, life jackets out there for them to practice on, to talk about, to throw, to engage them in that way. And
because I know we talked about the fatalities or the injuries that happen during home fires, but also water safety is a huge issue. It just seems that just breaks your heart sometimes to read the paper or read about someone who was left unattended, and
Absolutely.
certainly that whole thing is.
Yeah. I think it's extremely important to equip our children, teach them these basic skills, so that they have the confidence to be there to help people whenever there is an emergency. At least if they've done it and practiced it, they would have the basic confidence to do that.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about the Islamic Academy, Dr. Khan, and how many children, students are there, and from what grades to what grade?
Right. The Michigan Islamic Academy is one of the pioneer schools in the nation, pioneer Islamic schools in the nation. It is the oldest Islamic school in the state of Michigan. Presently we have 223 students. The grades are from preschool all the way to high school. It is a college prep school, and 100% of the graduates from the school go to college. They offer all kinds of courses. They have the AP Advanced Placement classes that they offer. They have dual enrollment where you can take college level courses, so you can actually graduate early. And so it's a wonderful school, and we have the PTO there, which is very active in organizing different activities for them. So it's a wonderful school. Their MEP scores are above the Michigan average. And I think the teachers work very hard.
Well, I know as a parent myself of kids who went to the Ann Arbor school systems, I know it's all about parent involvement, and certainly in making a safer school, school environment when it comes to training. So we so appreciate you calling us in and getting us involved with schools, and I know that fits with Mike's experience in being able to go into some of the Ypsilanti schools and the Ann Arbor school systems. It has to do with the parent involvement, the teacher involvement. It's kind of a three-way thing, isn't it?
Absolutely. I think Red Cross provides outstanding outreach programs, and I think a lot of us in the community need to avail of these opportunities that you provide us with. They are very interesting, very good learning experiences, and I think if every youth in the community, all the young people in the community did know about all the positive stuff that you as the Red Cross are doing, I think that would be outstanding. We'd have a very rich community.
Well, thank you very much.
Yes.
Well, now we're going to talk about another youth program. We have Mary Kumbir, who heads up our Swim Across Plus program. Mary, tell us a little bit about that program.
Well, Julie, it had previously been just a Swim Across program focusing on swimmers, but I had been team liaison for several years and saw that we were missing a lot of summer athletes. We were missing our divers that were at swim pools. We were missing tennis players, golfers, people who like to bike, and runners. And so we've expanded the program this year. So I've always seen this as a win-win-win partnership with Red Cross. First of all and foremost, that it is a fundraiser for the American Red Cross. And it's been a long-standing fundraiser. That's a fun event. It gets kids introduced to the Red Cross. Oftentimes it's their very first introduction to the Red Cross. So in the Swim Across, they start and they swim lengths across the pool. They collect pledges. Now, when expanding it to the Swim Across Plus, they're able to dive, golf, play tennis, and run and bike. So we're very excited about it.
Well, and I think that our production crew has some slides showing a lot of the fun and some of the swimmers that we've had in the past, and even some of the winners. One of our winners, it really is an engaging program where the kids really enjoy the day.
They do. They get, they don't have a typical swim practice. They often are hanging on their coaches. They're often swimming with their buddies, talking during a practice where they don't get to do that. So the second part of it is, besides being good for the Red Cross, it's also good for the sponsors. The sponsors, especially in these challenging economic times, do appreciate the opportunity to partner with the Red Cross and help people in their own community. They really seem to appreciate knowing that they're making a difference. And in the end, also the athletes, the summer athletes, they have a lot of fun. And like I said, it's often an introduction for them to where they can use their time and talent and really make a difference in their community. They can give back to the community, doing something that they love to do. It's a lot of fun. We play music, we have prizes, and so it's an exciting event that we're looking forward to expanding this summer.
Well, and I've got to thank you, Mary, because I know you've spent a lot of your time educating the liaisons, the clubs about our need, because at the Red Cross, we are in challenging economic times. And when that happens, unfortunately, the money goes down, but also the need rises. So it's even more important that we find these fun ways to engage the entire community from the youngest of ages in a fabulous, fun way to enjoy the summer, safe,
does.
and with and they enjoy their teams and their coaches and everything.
I think you're right. There was a really important component that's been missing from this, and the Red Cross hadn't really provided the liaisons with this. This program was built in the backs of a lot of really strong and enthusiastic volunteers, and they really, it's a long-standing program. It's been around, this will be our 32nd year.
Wow.
So it's very exciting to see it kind of grow here, but the Red Cross hadn't really been sharing where all of the money went. So this year we added that piece of communication to the program. And we're going to give people actually a piece of paper that will say, where does $50 go? Where does $100 go? What are the possibilities? And so even while it's a tough economic time right now, I think that people will want to help people in their own community. They want to see where they can make a difference.
So are we out there in the public pools, and where are we now?
Right now it's very exciting. We have 10 to 13 pools that are already committed. They're private clubs, they're public pools, and they've taken it to another level. We took a program that was previously canned, and we asked them what did they want to do, what would work for their team, how could they make it fun, enjoyable, and still have it be a fundraiser for the Red Cross. So we've got some public pools, we've got Vets, we've got Fullers, we've got Rutherford, and they have all committed to, even if someone doesn't have a team, that they will allow people to swim there. So that's very exciting. I'm excited about that.
So parents out there who don't have anything for their kids to do planned yet for the summer, they can join a swim team at one of the public pools, such as Fuller or Vets?
Well, the teams will be competing at those particular pools, but
Okay.
the public pools have said that they would open up their pools to allow people to get a pledge form and to swim lengths there and be able to contribute to the program. So that's kind of, it's a new dimension kind of to the program, that people will be able to participate whether they're on a team or not.
And what about somebody like me? I mean, if I just want to, go swim in
You can swim.
and
Certainly
get
you
a
can swim.
sponsor for
Yes,
my laps.
you can.
How
You
do I
can.
do that?
We have on our website, exciting, brand new today, we added information, and you can click on our website, you'll see a Swim Across Plus icon, and if you continue further in that, you will see an opportunity to print a pledge form. So you're welcome to go collect pledges. I don't know if you'd want to collect pledges per length, Julie.
Well,
That would be an exciting thing. I would pledge you. That's an easy way to participate. And what's exciting to me too is that some clubs who have been long-term participants in this program have taken it to another level. They came to us and they asked if they could add golfing. We have one local club, Ann Arbor Country Club, that's going to donate a whole day and take a team out and let them golf and try and see how many holes they can golf in one day and get pledges. So it's very exciting.
and their prizes too.
Yes, they're very exciting. We have a great round of prizes. We'll have prizes at a $40 level, which will be a great Swim Across Plus t-shirt, and then we have brand new this year a towel at $100. So it's very exciting. I think the kids will have a lot of fun, and then they'll have something to remember their efforts by. And I think it'll be the most important thing, Julie, is really, it's not really about the prizes. It's really about the fact that they're getting the opportunity to use their talent to give back to the community. They're introduced to this lifetime of charitable giving, and they're empowered so they can see how they can affect their world. And especially in this tough economic time, I think it really helps for them to see that they make a difference.
I think you told me a story about
Oh.
a 4-year-old girl and
Yes,
how
I
she
did.
got started.
Yes, I did. It was her first time in the pool. It was very exciting. This was Jordan, and she was swimming in the pool. She had just learned to swim, and so she had decided she was 4. She was going to swim 4 lengths. So she got in the pool and she took a board, a kickboard, and she was able to swim her 4 lengths. And I congratulated her. I was right at the edge of the pool, and I said, "Great job, Jordan. Come on, get out. You did a great job. You raised $40. Boy, you really helped a lot of people." I said, "You need to get out now." I said, "Or your mom's going to have to pay too much money." And she looked right at me, and she said, "Nope." And she turned around and she swam back again, and she swam another 4 lengths, and that was very exciting. I waved to her mom because I was very concerned that her mom would not want to pay, as she had pledged $10 a length. And her mom said, "Go ahead." So she came out and she had earned $80, and we called her Miss $80 all summer, and that was very exciting. So we still call her Miss $80.
Well, it just has to do with kids,
Right.
and kind of getting their spark of imagination
Right.
and that passion
Right.
for connecting with the community. And I kind of would like all of us to now, as we have our last few minutes here, thanks to Ann Arbor Community Television, talk about that, how we do that. And Dr. Khan, I know you have experience in kind of reaching for that and allowing that to grow.
Yes, yes. I think we have to teach our children. You know, a quote from John F. Kennedy was, you know, ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. And so we have to teach our children that basic fact: community service. Let's all work together. Let's help each other. And the only way we can do that is if we have a little bit of basic training in all the different aspects of life. And I think with Red Cross having a lot of these outreach programs, we can get our children involved in a lot of things. For example, at the MIA, we have the National Honor Society. They are planning to do a blood drive in conjunction with the Red Cross. So they can do food drives. We have the blanket day for the homeless. So I think just getting them aware of these programs would be an outstanding feat. I think it would be wonderful.
I think that's I agree with that. I think the most important thing is that we give these kids an opportunity to help. We empower them, we teach them the skills, we help them understand that they really can make a difference. It doesn't really matter how old they are. They need the skills and then they need the opportunity. So I think these are great programs that the Red Cross has, and just sharing that information with people. And the goal for my program is really to have them understand that we're looking for increased participation. Right. So
the more the merrier. It's all about making friends.
Right.
You know, Mike, you have the Youth Community Action Team, and I bet our viewers would like to know about that.
Yeah,
that's a way.
That's correct. And just what we've been talking about, sort of taking it to the next step, instead of just educating youth about choking and burns and wounds, really engaging them and having them take that next step. And at the Red Cross, we do that, and we do that through Swim Across and through 80 Buck Jordan, who took that to the next step.
That's right.
And she did that as as only as a 4-year-old there.
That's right.
And we encourage that from all youth of all ages. We have a structured program, though, for kids older than 12 to 21, called our Youth Community Action Team. And it's a group of high school students primarily who go out into the community and get that word out about the Red Cross and do service projects. So we even have some of the high schoolers go in and teach the elementary students basic first aid. We have them go in and teach water safety. We have them support our Great Escapes programs. We have them doing outreach into the VA hospital and into senior centers. And anywhere where the Red Cross touches people's lives, we like to help insert the youth who may not have that opportunity to do so into that mission. And as the program coordinator, I like to try to empower those youth, and we do that at the Red Cross. So
We've used our youth to actually teach Girl Scouts and Boy Scouts, haven't we?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
We have a number of trained high school students who are ready and willing to teach Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts those important lessons of first aid and water safety.
What I really like about this is that the youth seem to be really focused on teaching them compassion, and that's what's really exciting to see happen. That they're able to, they're empowered, and they're learning these skills, and they're excited about helping. And so all of these programs are introducing people to the American Red Cross, and they might not know how many different things that we do.
Yeah, and it gives them a sense of community, not only,
I think,
I think Dr. Khan, you were mentioning, all the different programs that you have there. They have a sense of their own community as being students,
Right.
but then how they connect with the city, the county, the region, the world, really.
Right, exactly. And as in fact, our high school graduates, as they prior to the graduation, they have to do 200 hours of community service.
Wow.
And that's wonderful. And imagine if they can do CPR training and try and educate other people in there. and I think that would be so good if they can go out into the community. And we have a lot of the students, yes, they are going out into the homeless shelters, the food gatherers, into the hospitals, the doctor's offices and stuff, helping the community. And I think if we can, get them more involved with the Red Cross, that would be wonderful.
You mentioned connecting with the world, and
Right.
and that's something that the Youth Community Action Team also tries to do. We have a number of programs that support the International Red Cross, and we have programs supporting the Measles Malaria Initiative, raising money to eradicate measles and malaria. We have programs exploring humanitarian law, which teach students about war and the laws of war, but more importantly, compassion and compassion towards humans around the world.
Right.
And so it really is it's a community, it's a local, state, national, and international movement that volunteers are a part of.
And they say, even though we're in hard economic times, it's not a time to bury our head in the sand and just to lick our wounds or whatever. It's time to really gear up,
Right.
to do more,
Right.
because that's how we can really make things better for the needs are great, but also the energy and youth
Right.
is
Yes.
just ready for this
Exactly.
kind of thing.
Exactly.
When I was interviewed, I remember a question wondering whether we should keep this program, whether it was really a viable program during these challenging economic times, and I really felt strongly that we really did need to keep it. If we don't teach our kids to be compassionate, if we don't empower them with these skills, the world will be worse. We'll be a much better place if we do give them these opportunities. And that's what I'm really hoping with this, and that's what I'm seeing with your programs and at your school, is that they're getting these opportunities, and it's very exciting.
And we have a fabulous community that really loves knowing about what we do and opens their doors, like
Right.
at the Islamic Academy and other schools. So
Yes.
I feel like that it's more conversations like this
Right.
Yes.
that we can have all over the county.
Right.
And so Mary, as you go out with your Swim Across Plus and talk to those golfers and swimmers.
Tennis players. What I like too is that we're tailoring the program. We're looking for opportunities for whatever they need to have happen. Whatever they want, we want to help them make it happen.
Yeah. So especially to the viewers out there who don't know what to do with Johnny or Janie this summer, please call the Red Cross, and we have our slide coming up with all of our contact information. We have the fabulous Swim Across programs, we have trainings, and we also have the Youth Community Action Team. And anyway, we so appreciate all of our partners and any potential partners out there, such as schools or community teams and community groups. We would love to essentially hold out our hand and bring our programs to you and have you get involved. We so appreciate the way we're allowed to touch people's lives and help people's lives and save people's lives here in the community. Thank you, Ann Arbor Community Television.